Many people refer to dirt biking as just a hobby, but many people know it as a way of life. Dirt biking is perfect for pushing your limits and challenging yourself. However, dirt biking is not a cheap sport, and you're not going to get a part under $100 unless it's literally a nut or a gasket. You have to constantly perform maintenance on your bike, which will put a big, huge dent in your wallet. There are different kinds of dirt biking, which vary from freestyle, enduro, trail riding, and motocross. Freestyle is where just a bunch of riders go head to head, doing their best tricks, trying to show up the other one, and win. Dirt biking does not come without any dangers though. Everybody goes into it knowing they could get hurt, and most of the time, you do.
On his spectacular bike flip, crashing from 10 meters. He was uninjured, but out of the competition.
The most important thing you have to remember when riding is you're doing this because you're having fun. If you're not having fun, this is probably not for you. Or you're just having a bad day, go at it again later. Now some people are plain out just retarded crazy, and they take their bikes to places that you'd never dream a dirt bike would be on. Such as this guy, Robbie Madison. He drives his dirt bike on the ocean. He surfs with surfers on his dirt bike. This guy is all sorts of crazy, and it only took him 2 years to make this happen. Oh, and for future reference, if you guys ever know a dirt biker, don't tell him he can't do something, because he will. He will. And he will get hurt because we try no matter what. Dirt biking is all about willpower and that drive that you get. Without the willpower or drive, you're not going to do very good or get very far. Dirt biking is not for everybody, but I strongly recommend you try it out at least once in your life. You will not regret it either way. There's just a certain kind of adrenaline that you get when riding a bike that you don't get anywhere else. It's almost like a sense of freedom with a motor. Now, the way Robbie Madison was riding on the ocean, he actually had a special tire, if you saw from the footage. He was using a tire that you would usually use in the sand dunes for loose terrain. And you can't get much loose in the water, so that's the tire he had to use to catch the water. Different kinds of dirt bike parts you can get are flywheel weights, which just improves the bottom end power of your bike, and less chances of stalling and more chances of making up that hill you've never been able to make it up. Another part, which is usually around $1,000, is called the Recluse clutch. Now what it does is it just makes it so you don't have to clutch. Now clutching when you're going, and usually when you're going up a hill, you need to be on that clutch. You need to be pumping the clutch, and you need to be just on it, because if you stall in the middle of a hill, you're screwed. You have to either turn around and try and go back up again, or you have to walk your bike up a hill, which that is not fun. Other parts are like top end rebuild kits, and those are usually around $200 for the good. And usually you just have to redo your top end every couple of seasons of riding, just so your bike doesn't blow up and it keeps its power. Now, it's important if you're in a mud hole or just in the water or something, crossing a creek, if you drop your bike, you get it out of the water as fast as you can, because if you don't, your bike is going to flood and it's going to blow up if you try and start it without draining it. And the way to drain it would be take off the exhaust pipe and open up the engine and just let it all drain, and it sucks. Before you go on a ride, you should always lube up the bike with some WD-40, just so your parts don't get rusted and you don't have to buy stupid stuff like foot pegs every time you go riding because you just let them get destroyed. because you didn't take care of your stuff. For dirt bikes are the plastics. Those are just basic. If you don't know what the plastics are, I'm concerned for you. But the plastics are the colors of the bike. I don't know how to explain it. It's the plastics. It's the graphics. You can get decals for your bike to put on the plastics. The plastics are basically just the armor protecting the bike. Parts that you can get for under $100 are like levers, air filters, insulation for the exhaust, and your nuts and bolts and gaskets. That's about it. Otherwise, you're spending over $100 every time. Usually. You might get really lucky and find good prices. Now, it's important to change your oil in your bike after every season. Is when I do it usually. Some people are just weird and they do it every couple rides. Usually you want to clean your air filter every 3 rides. That's what I do. Other parts under 100 are usually like stuff like bark busters. They're just hand guards so you don't bust up your hands when you're flying through the bush at 80 kilometers an hour. Alright, well that's the presentation. I hope it was good enough. Okay, bye.